Honor, I believe we ended on page 110, line 17, if we could pick up from there with the rest.
Very good.
You first met Monica in Vegas during that 2016 visit at the Aria. Was there a conversation in front of her between you and Baker about getting rid of her husband?
No.
Was there conversation from her about how she didn't love her husband, didn't like her husband, wanted his money?
I would hear that from Baker, that conversation from Baker, not from Monica at all.
But did you hear her saying anything while you were in Vegas about her husband at all?
No.
Did Al, who's the person that told you that Monica and Baker had been arrested for this murder? Who did that come from initially? I know you said you heard it from various sources, including Al.
Birdsong told me they've been arrested.
He reached out to you?
Yes.
And told you what?
Said I was arrested.
Did he tell you Monica was arrested too?
Yes. He said both of them were arrested. Don't say nothing to anybody. You're good. We got you. You keep doing what you were doing.
We got you? Who was he referring to when he said we?
Rob was himself.
Did you ever talk to Baker from jail?
No.
Did he ever make any three-way calls to a third party where, like, you would be on with, let's say, Al or somebody, and Baker was on the phone?
Once I was notified that Baker was arrested, I had no intentions on ever speaking to him ever again.
Understood. But was there ever a time where you were on a call and Baker was also included in that call on a three-way?
From jail.
Have you ever talked to Baker since he was arrested?
I remember talking to him before he was arrested.
After?
I might have talked to him once via three-way call.
With who else on the phone?
Mr. Birdsong.
How many times? Once? More than once?
Maybe once.
Do you remember what was discussed?
Don't say anything. You weren't there. If anybody contacts you, ask for a lawyer.
Did he ever say anything to you, he meaning Baker, about Monica? Never mentioned Monica, forget her name, never put her name in your mouth?
He probably would have said something like that to me, yes.
Well, I don't want to know probably, I want to know specifically, did he ever bring up Monica?
I'm thinking. He said, yeah. He said, don't mention nobody's name. Put it all on me.
Did he ever mention Monica's name?
He didn't say it, he said, don't mention her.
Don't mention her.
Don't mention her. Don't bring anything up. If anybody knocks on your door, you close the door and you ask for an attorney.
Did he ever tell you or discuss with you that there was a protocol? The word protocol ever come up?
Yeah.
What did he say about a protocol?
They get a passport when they're ready to leave. Dump your phone.
Dump your phone, get a passport for what?
Passport.
A passport. And this protocol was to come into play at what point?
If I was ever picked up.
Well, if you were picked up, that would be too late, right? Like if you got picked up by the police, you wouldn't have time to go get a passport. You'd be in custody like you are now.
Yeah.
So when was this protocol supposed to come into play? Was this something you were supposed to do after the murder?
Yes. Yeah, after he was arrested,
Mm-hmm.
Birdsong was telling me he would check in on me from time to time. And he was telling me, keep doing what you're doing. You're good. You have nothing to do with this. Don't worry about it.
Did you ever have any three-way phone calls with Baker, Al, Monica, or anybody else through this guy showing you, this is Exhibit 5, Attorney Howard Lynch?
Maybe if I saw something that referenced that, I don't know.
Do you know this guy?
I do.
How did you meet this guy?
Basketball.
Where?
I met him playing basketball back in 07.
Where?
Canoga.
Outside somewhere?
Like a big, somebody's house. They would like meet every week. You know, a bunch of
Okay.
people would all meet. We all play basketball outside somebody's house.
And who introduced you to him?
Baker.
Did you ever talk to him after Monica and Baker were arrested?
No. I don't think so.
Did you ever make any three-way calls, or were you ever part of any three-way calls that went through this guy's law office?
Maybe.
To who?
Like, are you asking if I made the 3-way calls, or what, did I pick up the phone 3-way calls on it?
Did you pick up?
I probably picked up, and, you know, it was, probably Birdsong and Baker.
Together?
Yeah,
From after Baker was arrested in jail?
I think so. Yeah.
How many times? Do you know the two secretaries that would put together the three-way calls to cycle into? You know, either the women that work in his office?
No.
How many times have you met this guy?
Basketball, a lot. Like probably over 8-10 times. Like just meeting with basketball. Prior to all of this,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I know.
In 2007.
Like about 2007.
How about April? Do you know Baker's sister, April?
I didn't know Baker had a sister.
Well, do you know a woman named April that's related to Baker somehow? Have you ever received any phone calls from someone named April?
Not from my knowledge, you know.
They gave you, well, was it Baker and Birdsong kind of gave you a plan, right? Have your passport and be ready to go. Is that right?
Yes, they told me that after everything went down, they told me that you need to go back, you need to go to work. Before all the arrests happened, you need to go back, get a passport, keep going to work, keep doing what you're doing, you're never here, don't worry about it. If anything happens, we'll call and let you know.
Who said awful?
Birdsong.
Okay.
But I think that came via Baker, because they were very close.
Now, did Baker ever tell you what his plan was for him and Monica? Like, what were they going to do now that it was over?
After everything happened, after everything happened,
Post-murder, before arrest?
yeah. He would say, like, everything's good. I think they took a trip.
Mm-hmm.
My other uncle called me, said, I'm seeing you, see Baker down here bike week. I was like, oh, okay.
Bike week?
Bike week, yeah.
Where?
Myrtle Beach.
Who's your uncle?
Pete.
Who?
My Uncle Pete.
Pete what?
Bullock.
But did Baker ever tell you,
I'm trying to get
okay.
there. I don't want to lie. So I'm trying to.
No, it helps you go in order, we can always go out of order. Go ahead.
So, we chilling at, each other, with some girl. I was like, oh, okay, good. But I didn't want him to even worry about that.
Him being,
My Uncle Keith. And then
your uncle?
yeah, biological. Biological uncle. Apologies.
No worries.
They were the bike week. I talked to Baker in the form of like, are you okay?
The phone,
Via phone call like that.
while you're there,
I would call people to check in, and that's what I did. I followed.
regular phone or burner phone?
I think it was a better phone. So I'm good, everything's good. I was like, everything was settled. I'm a send for you. She gets this money, I'm a send for you. Meaning, pull me out of Alaska.
He said when was he going to do this?
When Monica got her settlement,
What settlement?
her insurance and however that works. She said, when she gets this money, I'm a send for you, and I'll take care of you, you're going to be good. What he didn't know was I didn't plan on living after he told me that. I said, okay. Oh, man, cool. And then, the reason he told me to get a passport, so we would go to Europe or Mexico somewhere, we don't live out there. It's my understanding via the context of how he said it. So if he wanted me to live with him, and him and Monica were going to go live in another country somewhere.
Your understanding was their plan was to leave the country.
Immediately. I think that's why he wanted me to get a passport so fast. But that's it.
Immediately after what?
She got her settlement.
Did he ever tell you, or did she ever say anything?
He mentioned that she's gonna be working really. And so when that comes through, be ready and have a bag packed.
Did he ever say anything like that in front of Monica to you?
I don't know. I don't know if he said anything like that to her in front of her. He told me that would be a comment.
Okay. Huh? No, I was thinking about something.
And then,
Where was Monica ready to get the millionaire number, isn't it?
after he had told me all that, I didn't, like I said, I did what he asked. I just checked on him periodically. Are you okay?
You checked on him?
I checked on him. I said, are you okay? And I asked him, I think, am I okay? Via phone.
I want to show you this. It's a communication. Is this a instant message, Facebook instant message, exhibit 4 between you and Baker? Is this the kind of thing you're talking about? Are you saying you good?
He asked me if I was good.
Is that what you're talking about? That you guys are checking on each other? You good?
Yeah.
And on this one, is this the one where he tells you to download WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that the encrypted app we talked about earlier?
Yes.
And was it your understanding that when you communicated with him via this encrypted app that Noah would be able to know the contents of that communication?
That's what I was told.
By who?
Mr. Baker.
Did you have any communications like this with Monica?
No, ma'am. Not to my knowledge.
At some point, were you informed that Baker pled guilty in this case?
Via television from my mother.
Did your mother tell you that he pled guilty both to murder as well as conspiracy to commit murder of Fabio Sementilli and
She did.
sentenced to life without parole?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was from TV and your mom?
That's my understanding, and then it was reiterated to me by my wife when I was in Vancouver.
But your wife had never met Baker?
No.
So she knew that you were friends with him?
Yes.
Had she ever been told about Monica?
No.
Had she ever been told about Alfred Birdsong?
Yes.
When you and Baker would check on each other and say, hey, you good? What did that mean to you? Like you good mentally, you good physically, anybody been like coming around asking questions? Like what did that really mean?
My interpretation would be good, like mentally, and has anybody kind of asking me questions.
Was Baker aware that you were mentally struggling after this incident?
Nope.
You kept it secret?
I remember going for a walk. And, started back to that like the base. I saw a bear and I said, this is it. And they ran. And I cried. And that's when what did you do? So I was like, okay, come on. I was struggling. I was struggling bad for like 2 years.
Who's Troy Hodge?
Who's Troy Hodge?
Looks like maybe somebody you were communicating with while you were in Vegas in July of 2016. Does that name ring a bell? So, it looks like while you were in Vegas in July of 2016, Monica is messaging Troy Hodge, who just happens to live in Anchorage, and has ties to the military like Baker. Is that somebody that you are familiar with? Do you recognize that name?
I'm trying to, I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Do you have a photo
Of conversation or
Not at this time. Did were you ever on a third three-way call with Monica and Al?
I don't remember that.
Were you aware that Monica and Al were tight, or that they were in communication?
I assumed that they were because of how everything was formulated.
Why do you do that?
Because if Baker was going to bring anybody to talk to her, it would have probably been Birdsong.
Okay,
Not
but
me.
did Al ever mention, I spoke to Monica, Monica's in jail right now, but Baker's going to take the fall from her, or anything like that?
Yeah.
What did Al say about that?
He said Baker's he said don't worry about everything. Baker's going to do anything. You have nothing to worry about. And all this is going to work out.
But did he ever say anything about Monica?
Yeah, but she's trying to say she didn't have anything to do with it.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
Did he ever say anything else about Monica?
Was Bertha irritated about that, or was that part of the plan that she's going to say?
He sounded irritated. And frustrated about the whole thing.
That she
He
was
said,
going
that bitch knew what was going down.
Who said that?
Birdsong.
Birdsong said that bitch knew what was going down?
Yes, ma'am. conversation was plain and bland.
What do you
He
mean?
never brought it up.
Who?
Birdsong.
Never brought up
After they were arrested, never really brought it up.
Monica and,
Monica and Baker over years, and he checks in on me every now and again. And I checked in on him. His wife had passed away.
before or after the murder, did anybody bring up the fact that Fabio had children?
Yeah, Baker did.
What did he say about that?
His daughter came home and found her.
Let me ask you this. We haven't even talked about the actual murder yet. When you were there that day, was there any sense of urgency or any comment by Baker about the fact that you guys had to get this done within a certain amount of time because the daughters were coming home?
Yes.
What was that?
He said, we gotta go now. She went to the store, he's home alone.
She went to the store meeting too.
Monica went to the store. And we went.
He said, just before that, was there a phone call or was there any communication?
There was a communication via phone. He picked up the phone and walked out of the room.
So it was a call?
I believe it was a call. A call or a text. But I believe it was a call. And he said, we gotta go now. She's gonna run to the store. She left the door unlocked. We gotta go now. And he said she left the door. And he put me in the trunk. I'm assuming because he didn't want me to know where I was going.
He put you in the trunk?
Yeah.
But you had already been to this house before.
Yeah.
He put you in the trunk in his garage
Yeah.
until he drove where?
Until he drove to wherever he parked the car, and he let me out, and we jogged up the hill. And if you asked me, that was a legit act. No, it didn't. My front door is unlocked often.
Yeah.
And other people, it didn't.
But you knew that where you were going because the night before
Yeah.
the plan was to kill Fabio at the supermarket.
Yeah.
And before you even left his house, he gave you clothing, you said.
Yeah.
What kind of clothes did he give you?
The baggy dark clothes.
And what did he tell you to do with the baggy dark clothes?
After the victim, after he was killed, he told me to go in the garage and get in the car, and that's what I did, and I waited, and it seemed like a very long time.
You didn't help him clean up the house?
I had seen the house outside of the kitchen and the patio, in the living room area.
Did you guys go in through Monica's unlocked sliding door? The bedroom sliding door?
Went to the front door.
You went to the front door. And you drove to the house in a what?
It was a rental car.
Did Baker ever tell you where he got the rental vehicle from?
No.
And you never asked questions about where the rental vehicle comes from?
Oh, well, I saw it in a Friday.
When you saw it?
We did a rental, kind of like had little stickers.
So you saw Enterprise on the car?
I think it was, yeah, somewhere.
And who drove the car to somewhere near the crime scene where you guys got out and jogged up?
Baker.
Okay. Is Was it 9?
Baker drove the car to the crime scene, and then when he took the Porsche,
Is that the rental? Something like that?
yeah, I believe that's it.
You drove that vehicle. So after you left the crime scene, we'll go back to the crime, but after you left the crime scene, Baker, you said, dropped you off somewhere near a tunnel?
Yeah,
And how far was that from the house, from the crime scene?
maybe 3 minutes.
3 minutes away?
He was driving quickly.
Did he say anything to you about shit, we just, or, oops,
He said,
one of the daughters?
No, I don't think so.
Meaning, do you recall if you passed someone that he noted, like, it would have been coming home if you passed them?
I had my head down. He told me to put my head
Did you
down.
What did he say?
He said shit. That's what he said.
That's all he said?
Yes.
Is this what you're talking about, a tunnel showing you in Exhibit 10?
Yeah.
That kind of tunnel?
Yes.
Okay. And so he just let you out there, and how long were you there before he picked you up?
There, I wasn't there. I ran. I wasn't there. I didn't, you said.
He dropped you off.
You just dropped me off and I ran
And then where did he pick you up?
on the main street.
If
by
you
the
know,
bus stop.
if you weren't staying there, how would he know where to pick you up?
I have no clue, but I ran.
Why was he dropping you off?
I think so we could dump the car without me.
Did you know ahead of time you were going to take the car from the garage? Was that part of the plan?
Yeah, because she told him that she can leave the keys tonight.
Where?
I don't know.
Well, how did you know that?
That's what he told me. What I'm telling you is what he told me from her.
Did you see the keys in the kitchen?
No. I didn't look for much of anything except for I went through, again, I didn't have my glasses, so I'm really fogged because I didn't have my glasses.
So he told you that,
Just go in the garage, get in the car.
and he, as far as her role, what he told, she told him, I'm going to the store right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I think at one other point you said that maybe it was when we were in Vancouver that Baker told you he's home alone now, that she told him he's home alone now. Is
Yeah.
that something else? That he told you Monica said he's home alone now? And then he told you Monica said, I'll leave the door unlocked. Why about the door unlocked?
Left the door.
Lock the door. And then Monica also told him, I'll give you the keys. So, put the keys on something like that.
Yeah. I didn't have that information. He did.
Right.
I
He
didn't-
told her these things.
Yes.
I'm sorry. She told him, he told you those things.
Yes.
Was there anything else that you remember that he said Monica told him about this?
When after everything went down, he was like, you gotta go. And I was like, I gotta leave. And he dropped me off at the bus station. And he said, she wanted him dead. Don't worry about anything. I'll take care of it.
Did you say why she wanted him dead?
No. But I know why.
Based on what?
Her collective insurance money.
Based on what? What information?
Because of what he said, like in the past before it all went down, she got money. So my interpretation of that is, you help me do this, I will take care of you. No money, it's okay.
Were you under the impression that the entire time you guys are planning this, that she also was on board with the plan for it to happen?
Yeah.
Would you have gone through with this plan if you believed that she was not enough?
No. No.
Did Al also make it clear to you, besides what David said, did Al also make it clear to you that this was all done, that Monica was the mastermind, she's the one that wanted her husband dead?
What did he tell you about what Monica said? If you give the statement that Baker told you Monica said, what did he tell you that Monica said?
He said that like, well, she wants this stuff to go on because she wants it to happen quick. And baby trip to LA, but it was so short. I don't know why the time frame was so fast and needed to happen fast, but she didn't want it around. Is what my interpretation and context I got from Birdsong.
Why didn't Birdsong commit the act himself? Was there ever any discussion about why he would not do it, or why Baker would not do it initially?
Then we say,
Were you expecting to get any money from Monica?
no,
So, what was supposed to be, like you were telling us before, the payoff, $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000, where was that money supposed to come from?
Baker,
And where was Baker's money, because he had none, where was his money supposed to come from?
Monica.
So, in turn, really, Baker was going to get money from Monica's life insurance payout to then pay you.
That's how I understood it.
Is that what he told you?
Yes,
So he was planning on getting the insurance money from Monica to then pay you.
yes,
Did you also, was the plan also for Mr. Birdsong to get paid as well for his role?
I would assume so, considering they talk more than they talk to me.
Well, you don't know about that.
Not to my knowledge, but I've heard.
And Baker Birdsong wasn't in LA.
Not to my knowledge.
Did you meet up with somebody by the name of Shane or Lashane Holmes again when you came to LA for this murder?
I don't recall.
How about a guy named Antranik Manassian?
No.
Did you ever see Baker's roommate when you were in LA that time for the murder?
Not that I can recall. I heard him, but I didn't see him.
How about Donald Duckett? Is that a name you're familiar with?
No.
Okay. What about Tyrone Clark?
No.
How about a Janine Eiley or Ely?
No.
How about Roger Brown?
No.
You don't know Roger Brown?
The picture?
Did you ever go to an apartment in Glendale where Baker introduced
Arizona?
somebody? Glendale, California. 20 minutes, half hour. Showing you exhibit 11. This guy. Sorry, crappy copy. Ever meet that guy?
He looks familiar. Baker looks familiar.
Did you know that Baker was staying with him after the murder for a while?
That's what he was saying. There was, yeah, there was one. Is that the one with the security guy?
No.
Oh,
Did Baker ever tell you that Monica went by the name Madonna? Did you ever hear that name? No. What's Oz Entertainment?
I remember it as his management business.
The adult porn industry business?
Yeah. Yes.
How come you have a OEG website address?
He set that up when I was working for him. I would get on the internet and he would ask me to just look for models who wanted to get into the industry and send them a generic email that he had cooked up, and then they would come to the office at the time.
So why does Chloe have one?
I think that was set up.
By who?
Oh, we have an OEG again?
Uh-huh.
Probably set up by him. I didn't know that.
To give you a bunch of names, are you done with that?
Sure.
To give you a bunch of names that you don't recall, do you recall anybody else involved in the planning of this? We know Birdsong, we know Baker, we know Monica. Was there anybody else that you recall involved in either the pre-planning or that day?
I would have to see pictures. I don't really remember like a whole lot of names.
Well,
Sometimes the names are fake.
even if you don't know names, were there any other individuals, like even if you don't know their names, that were involved? Either you were on communication with them, or they're at the scene, or in another car, or anything like that that you know of?
I don't recall. I just recall me and Baker being together alone the day that it happened.
So let me ask you something. At some point after the murder,
Excuse me.
you were driving the rental car alone.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got pulled over and a ticket in the rental car 45 minutes after the murder.
I did.
Where were you headed?
Baker wanted me to follow him in his, I want to say, expedition to park the rental or return it. And then I got in the car with him. My duffel bag was already in the back seat, and he drove me to the bus lot.
Okay, but you got pulled over, and did Baker pull over as well?
I don't think so.
Well, did you see him getting pulled over before or after you? So if you
I was following him.
So you were following him, he kept going. After you get pulled over, where do you go?
There was a little restaurant in the corner. I don't remember the name of it.
What kind?
It's like a diner type spot.
On what street?
Whatever the street off of Independence to the left is. So you come out of where his apartment was and you make a left.
Like Van Owen?
Yes.
So you kept up with Baker at some point, I'm assuming, after you
He
get pulled
parked
over.
here. He had parked his park. He told me to meet him and said, we're going to the little restaurant. on the
So when you
corner."
got to the little restaurant, was the two of you planning on eating there?
Not to my knowledge.
So you were just meeting?
It was like dusk. It was like getting dark.
So you were just planning to meet there at the time?
And yes,
And what happens once you meet Baker there after you've now been ticketed is the rental vehicle that was
he drives me to the bus depot, I think.
the Van Nuys Flyway?
Yes.
Why?
He said, you gotta go.
Because
And your ticket.
Because of the fact that you got the ticket?
No, I think because of the murder happened, he wanted me gone.
So, but you guys, so then he
I didn't stay.
right, but you were planning on staying for the 24th. Your ticket was for the 24th.
The
He
next
takes
one.
you, right, he
Yeah.
takes you to the bus depot.
Mm-hmm.
You take the shuttle to LAX.
Yes.
You pay money at the counter to change your ticket from the next day to that night so you can fly back to Anchorage.
Yes.
Where's your cell phone during all of this?
I left my cell phone.
Where?
It fell out of my pocket.
Where did you leave it?
I was told not to take my phone. Don't bring my phone.
Where did you leave your cell phone?
My cell phone fell out of the car, fell out of my pocket in a police car at the time.
But you weren't going to bring it with you, whether it fell out or not. You were going to leave it at home.
Yeah.
In closed car.
Who told you not to take your phone?
First time told me not to bring my phone,
And did he tell you why?
so they can't track you.
So how did you tell Chloe, how did you get a hold of Chloe to tell her that you were coming back a day early so she would know to pick you up?
I used a random phone.
Whose phone?
Ford? Mac? Wanted to make a comment in the airport.
To say,
I asked to use her phone. I said, hey, I'm going to come back a day early. She was like, oh, okay. And like I said, we were getting to know each other during that time.
you were close.
Yeah.
So you didn't tell her anything. And when you left and got on the plane that night, were you at all worried that, like, looking over your shoulder, like the police are going to catch you?
Yes.
Like, were you scared when the police pulled you over in a rental vehicle? Like, this is it.
Honestly, no.
You didn't.
Because I didn't have a driver's license, so I knew I was going to go to jail because for driving without a license, I was told that LA would still pull you up, take your cell phone and everything.
But you didn't think when the police were pulling over you in the rental car that was rented for the purpose of this murder, you didn't think you were going into custody for this
In
murder?
that moment, no.
So you purposely left your cell phone in Anchorage
as instructed, yes.
as instructed by Al. Did you ever discuss the fact that you left your cell phone in Anchorage with Baker?
When he picked me up, he asked one of the first questions he asked me was, "Do you have your phone?" He was like, "No, I left it."
At LAX? When
When
you
he
first
picked
picked
me
you
up,
up at
yes.
LAX on the 22nd?
Yes.
What did, how did Baker describe his relationship with Monica?
And, he didn't really. So cool. This kind of goes back to the whole, like, I guess, planning thing. What she wants and did, like, whether.
But he did tell you, from what you told us earlier, that he and she were planning on leaving the country
Mhm.
after this murder and living together.
Yeah. He didn't really say too much. I mean,
Well, that's a lot,
I think
right?
I love this bitch. And I was like, oh, okay.
He said, I think I love this bitch.
Yeah.
Who's Brandy Abel?
Somebody I used to work with.
Is she somebody that you dated?
You know.
Because you texted her the day after the murder. Actually, multiple calls and texts went back and forth on January 24th. When you went back to Alaska, you had multiple calls and texts with her on that.
We were kind of like talking like she was going through something. And we worked together at Notion.
Did you tell her about what had happened?
No.
I just, after, you know, you knew that I'm going back, just because I'm kind of thinking linear, but after you first laid eyes, I remember on Monica in Vegas, you get back, right, and you Birdsong and Baker talk about Monica, they're talking about her husband and Birdsong telling you ways that you could do it. You're starting to realize now they're involving you in a potential plan, and that started in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And now when you got back to Alaska, you had more conversations. There's a plan in place. There's more conversations about the plan. But it got more real.
Just that when she got the money, they were going to leave the country. And I remember hearing words like, we're going to be set, we're going to be good.
What about her daughters? Was there any conversation about what she was going to do with her two young daughters?
No.
I'm more talking about like putting the plan in motion because you have that first conversation, right?
Yeah.
Now there has to be more follow-up conversations about how it's actually going to happen. It's still like, what, 5 months out. So during that time when you got back July 2016 from Vegas, what conversations, like what next steps did you guys take in planning or talking about it? Do you know what I'm saying?
So we went back to
Yeah. So you left Vegas after this initial conversation. You went home. Do you now end up on a three-way call again, or for the first time with Birdsong, Baker, and you, where you're actually now talking about putting this conversation into motion, actually making a plan with a date, the time, the place?
I don't remember like the whole set of like the whole date.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to do it this time, stuff like that. But I do remember like them just talking about it in general. I didn't really interject too much.
But that was the purpose of you coming in on January 22nd, was to handle this.
Yeah. That's what they wanted me to do.
So there were three-way calls before the actual day. You had three-way calls with them where you discussed this.
Yeah.
And then at any point, do you remember them saying like they stepped away, or they called Monica, or they included her in the conversation? Or any?
I think they said we'll call you back.
Who's they?
Birdsong and Baker. I didn't really talk to them.
No, I know you didn't, but things that you met them in Vegas. Now you've gone on with your life, plans starting to kind of form that you're going to actually put it into action. So this thing how I was telling you.
They would just drop it, but
But they didn't.
They didn't.
But you know they didn't because they were calling you talking about it.
Yeah.
And when they're calling you talking about it, were they getting any input that Monica had told them at this point now?
That she was going to try to figure out how to get them along.
Okay?
So it'd be like, you know, their words, not mine.
Right.
In and out.
Okay.
So I think that she was planning to set them up to be like alone somewhere.
Is that what Baker or Birdsong told you?
Yeah,
Who showed you the picture of Fabio? So you know what he looked like?
I think Baker did.
You think?
I believe Baker showed me a picture.
Where was the
like,
picture?
On the phone.
Was there ever any days considered before January 23rd? Like, was there ever a plan before that you actually nailed down a date and you're going to fly in?
You know, I think they wanted me to fly in like December. I was like, nah, I got to work. I got things to do.
What was the discussion about that?
When can you fly in?
Was December discussed?
Can you fly in December? Yeah, I was like, no. And then they said, well, I'm going to try to fly you off for your birthday weekend. I was like, maybe. I'll see if I get the time off.
Okay.
How many times? Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir, can I have one? Thanks, folks.
So 5-minute break?
Yeah,
5-minute
it's a 5-minute break.
It's 2:55, guys. We're going off record for a few minutes, so everyone should take a bathroom break. Okay, it's 3:10. Everyone's had a break. Mr. Austin, are you ready to go back on the record?
Yes, ma'am.
And before we go back, I want to put a couple of things on the record
Yes.
that I spoke with Mr. Austin during our recess. Number one, he recalls that the incident was scheduled for his birthday weekend because at the time he had 3 jobs, and Baker had suggested that you should tell your job you're coming to LA for your birthday weekend and ask for that weekend off. Is that correct, Mr. Austin?
That is correct.
And what were your jobs at the time?
Mental health specialist at an all-girls treatment facility. I was a substitute for the school district, and I was coaching football and mentoring youth in the jail in downtown.
So Baker wanted you to take off from your 3 jobs to come in to perform this job, killing Fabio Sementilli when?
On my birthday weekend, for the weekend of my birthday,
Which would have been,
the 10th of January.
The next thing I wanted to clear up is that this person Shane that you asked about,
yes.
go ahead, Mr. Austin, explain who you think Shane is or what his...
I think Shane is possible. His name comes up because I believe that's somebody who either Baker or Mr. Birdsong knew to try to do it with me.
How do you know that?
Because they had mentioned it, and he lived in the area, and so he knew like he would know how to like maneuver after if everything went down. And he wanted me to go to him, but I don't know what came of that.
Did his name come up? The name
Yeah,
Shane?
the name Shane.
By both Baker and Birdsong?
I think just Baker.
Baker. And when did Baker discuss with you this guy named Shane, who might be the second person to go with you?
It was one of those three where I kind of mentioned it, but like I didn't know who it was.
Again, was that in person, or was that a conversation that took place by phone between you and Baker?
I think it was in person.
When? When you were in 2016?
Yes.
Did you ever hear after the fact that Shane had any role?
No.
And lastly, all the names that you were asking Mr. Austin about, he does not recall the names, but if you have photographs at some point when we reconvene, that would be helpful to look at their photographs and see if you recognize them.
Okay. When you went to the house, Monica's house, not the time that you actually committed the murder, but the time before where you said you fell asleep and she ordered pizza, did she show you around the house?
No.
Did you note that there was a surveillance camera, TV camera in the kitchen that showed different vantage points of surveillance cameras?
Not that I recall.
Was there any conversation on the day of the murder, January 23rd, about removing the DVR box from the house, which was situated in the garage, in order to take any evidence of the two of you and Baker being caught on that box?
No conversation, but as I stated, when I got in the car, I just kind of waited for him, and I was like I said, I'm in shock. Everything happened so fast, and I remember him saying, like, I had to get some stuff.
Did you see him in the garage unhooking the DVR box?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, again, if I can, I'm in the car and kind of like panting, stuff, I'm like looking around, and he's over there in the corner doing something, and I'm like just looking around, and now I'm listening, I don't know what's happening, and then he comes in with his stuff. Some cookies, the boxing, like, yeah, they put it like under his feet.
12. So this is the garage. This is the door to the kitchen. Do you recognize the garage?
I do.
And on top of the cabinet in the garage is the DVR box.
I didn't see that, but he came in with it. He came in the car with it.
So you thought they could get into the car carrying the DVR box?
When he got in the car, he had it in his hand.
Did you ask him about it?
Nope.
So it sounds like you didn't ask any questions about anything. You just went along with whatever. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you like bring any items like from, you saw just that, right? But did you say anything about the bedrooms or going to the house or making it look like a robbery, anything like that?
He said I had to make it look like a robbery.
Did you help him do that?
No, man.
Did Birdsong ever, in your conversation, say or coach that
There's
should
no
be done?
Baker like you can't just go in and just do that.
Were you there when Al was telling Baker this stuff?
Just to go with the phone over the phone.
What did you on?
Not that we were.
To make it look like a robbery?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Or
Or what?
it's bakery. Baker's system. They agreed to that. Yes. They both agreed that they had to make it look like a robbery.
When you went to the house, you said Baker came to you and said that he had just talked to Monica or he had just communicated with Monica
Where are you at?
the day of the murder, and it was time to go,
Okay.
right? And you said you get into the trunk of the rental, you drive over there, he parks the vehicle, and then the two of you drive up to the house.
Yeah.
When you drive up to the house, what happens then?
Baker opens the door.
Front?
Front door. Baker opens the front door. And I go in with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he creeps to the back door
Where?
by the patio.
The one that's in the kitchen or the one that's in the family room area that looks out onto the backyard and the pool?
Walk in the door and the patio is like right there.
Pool. It's straight in front of you?
Almost like a slight angle.
Mm-hmm. And then what?
And Baker counts to 3. And we go out and rush and
He counted to 3 while you're in where? In the family room or in the kitchen?
Kitchen, family room, in between.
So here's the, let's put an exhibit tab on it. First is the family room window. Yeah. Did you know he was going to be out there?
Baker told me he was going to be outside, because he said Monica that he's on the back porch.
Monica said he's on the back porch.
That's the information I got from Baker.
Right.
From Monica.
That's what David told you.
That's what Baker told me
And when did he tell you that?
when we got to the front door.
So right when you're going in the house,
He said
in Baker,
he should be in the back porch.
Okay.
Or patio.
You didn't know the layout, well, you've been in there before, but did you remember the layout of the house?
I remember that. I remember
So you're looking right now at exhibit 13.
I remember sitting right there in that corner.
What time you were there before?
And that's where I was. They didn't show me, he didn't show me the house, none of that. And after I ate maybe a couple slices, put the TV on, whatever it was on, I don't remember. I just sat there and they went off somewhere.
In the house, you never talked about, well,
No
you
man.
just sat there, nothing.
No man.
So when you come in the house showing you 15, this would be coming into the front door, right?
Yeah, the day I did.
Mm-hmm. Any day, the house looks like this, right? And you would walk through and then to a step down living room area, right? With windows that look out onto the yard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you guys came in through the front door,
Yeah.
walked through to the living room area, and when you look through these windows, you can see the pool, right?
Yeah.
And then showing you, and this is looking at exhibit 15 and 13, 15 being the front door, 13 being the living room area. If you go to the left when you're in the living room, that would take you into the kitchen, which we see is 14. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you can see this door that's open.
Yeah.
Is that the door that you guys went out to rush Fabio, or did you go out the doors from the family room area?
We went out of the exhibit 14 door.
And Fabio, where was he?
Sitting in a chair.
Sitting in a chair doing what?
Sitting in a chair. I'm assuming smoking a cigar.
Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I think he was smoking something.
What he faced when you guys, when you walked out the door?
Yeah.
Showing you exhibit 16, this would be the door that you were talking about. You come out onto the patio where Fabio was.
Yeah.
And was there also a television out there, and a fire pit?
I think so, yeah.
Did you see Fabio smoking a cigar there?
I think he was smoking a cigar there. I can't remember.
Showing you exhibit 17, this chair here. Is this the chair that Fabio was sitting in facing the television when you guys came out the back door?
Yes.
And did Fabio say anything to the two of you when you come out?
He tried to get up, but Baker covered his mouth already
How did he cover his mouth?
with his hand.
And then what happened?
He started stabbing.
With which knife? You told us about two. Sarah, we need a couple more.
The folding knife.
The folding knife?
The one that you bought, or someone bought, you said holding her?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Are you talking about the one with the red that folded in half?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would be the one that we see in exhibit 6?
Yes, ma'am.
And then, did you also have a knife?
Yes, ma'am.
And so there were two knives.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the knife that you had?
I think I had like that one from right there into a case.
That was the one you told us about that you also purchased at the,
That Baker purchase.
with you.
Yeah.
Did you take that knife with you when you left the scene?
Yes.
Showing you exhibit 18. Does this show Fabio as you guys left him on the chair in the backyard?
Yes.
How many times did you stab Fabio? Where?
In the neck.
Did you say anything during any of this period of time? Fabio? Not one word. Did he try to scream?
Yes.
I mean, he's a big dude. Did he struggle?
A little. Yeah.
Did he seem to be shocked when he saw you and Baker come through the kitchen door?
Yes.
And then, did you take this, the knife, the hunting knife that you used to stab Fabio in the neck, did you take that knife with you when you left?
Yes.
What did you do with it?
May I have just one moment with me?
Sure.
Please.
No, we're ready. We're ready.
Go ahead.
Yes.
What did you do with it?
I buried it
Where?
in a bush somewhere.
Where?
In the neighborhood.
Where? The best you can. Here in LA, back in the neighborhood that you were, when you got dropped off on foot, is that when you did it?
Yes.
Okay.
Or
So
I still have it.
you had it in the Porsche when you guys drive away.
Yes.
Then Baker dropped you off near the tunnel.
Yes.
You start running.
Yes. And I realized I had it. It was hoping
You bury it somewhere.
somewhere. Yes.
And then somehow Baker manages to find you along the path. And you guys go where?
Back to the apartment. No. He tells me to strip. And he
Where? On the street?
No. In the car. When he picks me up in the car, so we take off my clothes, and then I give it to him, and then he swings out somewhere and drops them off
Drink by somewhere where?
in the neighborhood down to the road.
Shoot. Yeah.
And then we go back to the apartment.
And did you park the rental car in the underground? Parking garage?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we can parking garage.
And does he say anything to you about who is taking care of jumping off the Porsche?
No.
Do you guys ever discuss where the Porsche is going to be left?
No, ma'am.
Did Baker ever tell you where he dumped the Porsche or who he had dumped the Porsche?
No, ma'am.
And then he's driving the Porsche at some point, and is this after you go back to Baker's apartment? You leave later, 45 minutes later, is that when you get the ticket? You see what I'm
He
saying?
dropped up, so.
Yeah.
He dropped me up at the tunnel, he dropped me first. Don't know what he did, but he told me to get out. And I just got out. And I started running and jogging and running. It was nighttime and I buried it.
Got it.
Somewhere. And I was like, I want to find the main street. And so I found the main street. I go out, make a right, and I just keep jogging. And I see a bus stop and I sit down. And then he miraculously pulls up.
How long after he had dropped you off?
I was probably jogging for like 5 minutes.
Pretty sure. So Baker picked you up within 5 minutes?
About that.
And you go where?
What car did he handle to pick you up?
The rental.
Okay. And where do you go?
Back to the apartment.
And why do you go back to the apartment? Because you guys leave shortly thereafter because you get a ticket.
Yeah.
So when do you go back to the rental, to the apartment for? What's the purpose?
to all my stuff. All my stuff is in his truck. I think we switched cars and he's gonna take me to the airport.
So you knew you were leaving that day, at that point?
He said, I gotta get you out of here.
And so then you're following him in the rental to go to Enterprise to dump the rental car?
Return it, yeah. But I think it was like a restaurant that we parked at. And then I got in his car. So I don't remember like dropping the rental car off at the actual rental.
Was that the plan though, that you were gonna go return the rental car, or where was the two of you going to handle it?
At this point, I'm just following his instructions.
Right, and what is the plan? What is he telling you? Follow me
He
where?
said, follow me to this restaurant.
Which restaurant?
I don't remember the name of the restaurant.
Where is it?
It's on the corner of wherever we turned out of his apartment from.
So somewhere near Independence?
Yes.
And that's when you get stopped?
Yes. I
And,
think I got stopped for being in the middle lane too long.
not wearing a seatbelt.
No, I see that.
And then after you get stopped, the cop lets you go,
Yes.
and then you continue to
Where?
the restaurant,
Yeah, where he waited for me.
and then you get out of the rental car,
Yes.
and you get into what?
His car.
Which car?
I think it was the Expedition.
And then in the Expedition, he drives you to the Flyway?
Yes.
And the next time you talk to him is later that week, once you're back in Alaska?
Yes. I think I let him know I landed.
So anything anybody wants to add? Was your son still in the car then? Like, did Chloe pick you up and your son was still in the car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is that how you got your phone back then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does Baker give you money in cash while you're still in LA for the Birdsong, or do you do the same song and dance where he puts money into his account and you withdraw it from using his ATM card from your Credit One account?
He gave me a little cash.
How much money does Baker give you
I think
in
he
LA?
gave me like $60 to get a burn from me.
In cash?
Yeah.
Before you even leave LA?
I think so.
When did he give you the gold coins?
When he dropped me off at the bus station, I assumed it was from his collection.
Did you know that Fabio collected gold coins?
No, I did not.
Did you go into the master bedroom at all to see what Baker was doing in the master bedroom?
No, ma'am.
How many rolls? You said it amounted to approximately $3,000.
Give or take about that, yeah.
Okay.
What they did.
No, I'm asking you, did you know, because you said, I assume it was from his collection, did you know Rob to have, or Baker to have a collection of gold coins?
No.
Oh,
He just said, here, take these.
so you don't know where they came from?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you've never seen them with gold coins before, because that's an odd kind of thing to obtain making payments in?
No.
Okay. So you don't know if he got them from Fabio's house?
No, but no, it's just saying it. Yeah, he probably got them from Fabio's house. I was wrong. I was paid with those.
So when Baker got into the car, of course, when you guys leave the crime scene, you said he came in with the DVR. Did he come in with a pillowcase filled with anything?
Yeah, he came with a pillowcase.
How many?
One. That I recall.
Do you remember the color or anything?
It was teal. Or
Teal?
like a tealish blue. Kind of like, it was a lighter color.
Okay. And did you ask him what was in the pillowcase?
You know,
So he told you to duck down in the Porsche?
yeah, he told me to, he put his hand and showed me to put your head down.
Did you seem worried at all about that he was driving Fabio's Porsche out of the neighborhood?
Huh?
Did you seem worried about that he was driving Fabio's Porsche out in the neighborhood? Did you seem worried about it? You just got to driving his Porsche out.
I don't,
Yeah?
I know what my emotions were and my feelings were that day.
I'm assuming you just want to get the hell out of there.
Yes.
Okay, I think this is maybe a good place to stop, and then we'll pick it up, it sounds like hopefully this Wednesday, did you say, at 10:30?
Correct, I'll be at PCD, I have a couple matters that I should be done by.
Okay. And hopefully that'll work with everybody else's schedules, if not, we'll all communicate. Yeah, if not, we'll all communicate about that. And so we're now going to go off record at 3:34 p.m. on November 18th.
We're going to collect the transcripts. Let's take our morning recess. We'll limit it to 10 minutes. The admin supplies. See you back in about 10 minutes.